Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. I've got a couple of trainings that I wanted to focus on today regarding the screener and just a couple of functionalities on some of the watch lists as well, with some questions that I've been getting and just a couple of really easy and fun workarounds for a few different things that are happening. Number one is on the screening tool. You may have noticed if you're clicking on this screening tool down here, you're getting a pop-up. The old screener is disappearing, and TradingView is getting rid of this screen location down at the bottom. And this is actually good because they've put it over here on the side. There's a few additional things though that I want to show you. Number one, when you click on that and open that up, that is where that is. Okay, this is the core trading dashboard with the momentum zones. You've got the snap tool location, and really this is the core of the functionality of everything that you're going to be focused on. And then we have the other two that are additional setups as well, which are the let me just go through these real quick as just a refresher here, and that is this double pane window, this two window setup where we have the daily bar and then we have the hourly bar with the trend condition over here as well. This is one of the conditions, and I've done a lot of videos on this setup, but I wanted to do this one from this setting, and that is this is the kind of the core setting, and it's the core setup, and really you can do everything you need to do from this setting. This chart here is T-Mobile, nice looking confirmation move back into the momentum zone and moved back up above kind of the corrective structure, and that is one of the things that we want to look for. Well, one of the questions in the screener is how do I look for stocks, or if I have stocks in my watch list, which by the way, when you open this up, there's a little slider thing that'll push your chart over to the side, and then you can kind of fit this how you want it. Okay, and then in your drop downs, you're going to have a couple of different selections. You're going to have your stock screener, ETF, bonds, crypto screener, and a bunch there. So the stock screener here. Then from here, these are going to be the settings that we set up in Discord. Okay, so over here where we have these settings on the screen, and we're clicking this, we're opening this, and we're setting up the screens from here. This is the same location that you're accessing, but it's just over on the side. Okay, so you're going to be able to, you can manage them from either location, but in this case, we can go through the screens and we can see the chart of the screens as well. But in this case, as you've got your different setups, now one of the things that we focused on is we focused on the new buys. We focused on the new buys all, and then we also have just the buy sell holds. Okay, one of the things that I want to focus on is your watch list in these buy hold sell. So once you've set this up, okay, you've set up the buy criteria, and the buy criteria is here. You go back into this Discord, and again, the buy criteria are on the Google Doc page. Okay, so the screener now, this one is going away, the one on the chart. This one down here on the screen itself, the buy hold sell. You click on this Google Doc, and this is going to give you these setups. Okay, so the buy signal, the hold signal, the sell signal. Essentially, this is just the screen criteria that is creating or looking for certain trend structure. Okay, so we're looking for certain trend structure in order for these to qualify as a buy, hold, sell. And these are the settings that we're utilizing. They're very basic, easy to set up. So from here, your price, your CCI, your volume. That's really the core of those settings. So once you have those set up and you know that you've got your buy signal and you've got 657 stocks in there, well, what if you want to know which of your stocks in your watch list are inside of those settings? So one of the things you can do is you can come back to the chart page, okay, and then you can come to the screener, and on the screener, you can go to whatever those criteria are. Okay, so if I'm going to the buy criteria, which are now here, I can click on this watch list, okay, and I can say, well, which of my watch list are filling this criteria? Okay, so I've set up a watch list here called My Daily Watch List, and in that watch list now, it's going to tell me that of the stocks that are in my watch list. Now let's go back here for just a minute because I wanted to, let's see if I can. Actually, I don't know if they'll pull back in here. They won't. Let's come back here. So those watch lists are going to show up on that side panel. Okay, you're going to get your watch list sorted from here. So instead of having your entire watch list and saying, man, which one of these are in uptrends, which one of these are in downtrends, then what I can do is I can pull my screen into those criteria, and then it's going to tell me of my watch list stocks. I'm going to push this up just a little bit. I've got AT&T, which is in the buy zone. I've got O'Reilly Auto Parts, which is in the buy zone. It's not telling me if it's a new signal or not. It's just telling me what the criteria is, okay? Or if it's meeting those criteria. I've got ExxonMobil. I've got American Waterworks is a buy signal. Okay, Kimberly Clark is a buy signal. If I wanted to see same story, if I wanted to go to a different criteria and I wanted to come back down here, I'm going to go to my holds. I don't want to save those changes. Okay, or the cells. There's 1,585 symbols in the cell criteria currently. Well, if I want to just focus on that criteria into my watch list, I'm going to pull my watch list in, and now I've got Microsoft, which is in a sell signal. I've got Meta, which is in a sell signal. I've got Nvidia, which is in a sell signal. Amazon, okay? So if you're looking for your watch list that you've created those watch lists here, and it's going to give you all of the stocks in your watch list, but you want to look for what's the criteria of your watch list, this is how to do that. Okay, and now I could look and see, do I have any that are in the hold range? Okay, I'm not going to save my changes. I'm going to come back here. This drop down here will remove the criteria. Okay. Now I can push this over a little bit if I want, so that it's not so so tight over here. But for the most part, all we're looking at right now is just the symbol. That's all I need is the symbols. And I may move this over just a little, so I've got the hold criteria. Now I can come back to my watch list. I can come into that list that I've created, and now I've got Procter & Gamble, which is a hold. I've got Costco, which is a hold. I've got Walmart, which is a hold. I've got Apple, which is a hold. JP Morgan, okay? So that's a really quick way to be able to sort through your watch list and find out which of those stocks in your watch list are aligning with those criteria. Now you can do the same thing with the new buys and say, okay, the new buy criteria, which we've got set up, let's come to that here. I'm not going to save that. Now, the new buy list of just the raw new buy list has got this list right now. But if I wanted that to be of my watch list, I'm going to click this watch list. I'm going to come back to this, and I've got none. Okay, there wasn't very many in that watch list either. So, but if I'm looking first thing in the morning and I want to see, okay, have I got any stocks that are in my watch list, or even after the market closes, in my watch list that are meeting new buy criteria, then that's going to be a quick way for me to be able to do that. I know I've had a few questions on that, and that's actually is a pretty slick way to be able to access that watch list and see quickly which one are in those criteria. Okay, so you've created the screen criteria here. You've set those up, you've saved them, and now you're going to be able to access those from this little round guy over here, this screener button. You click on that, it's going to open it up, and then I've got my criteria. Now again, it's kind of squished right here, so I can widen this out, and there's this pane here that I can move it and make it whatever size that I want to be able to have that. And then once I've got my settings, if I need a little bit more space, I can just tuck those up out of the way right here. But let me come back. So now from here, my watch list, if I just want to get rid of that, I can reset it. Now it's going to delete that setting from my watch list, and I can come back and I can look for just the normal new buy list here as well. Okay. Now the other thing that I wanted to go through was just the screener settings as well, and the new location for that setup, and just some of those overall functionality to be able to access that. Now, one of the other things I wanted to go through, I went through this in one of the other videos, but I'll do it again in this one, and that is in your settings right here. You've got these two toggles. This little block one is just the list setting. The other one is the chart setting. Okay, so depending on how much space I actually want to have right here, I can click on this, go to candles. I want to squeeze it so that I'm getting two charts like that. Now I go to the day. I want to go out to 6 months, so I'm getting the actual bar right here. Now this is it's a little bit compressed based on the settings that I've got for my, let's see if I can get that into there's the two charts. It's a little compressed right here, but let's just squeeze that in. And then this is a quick way just to glance to see something that may take your eye. Like this one right here, PVH. That's all the way in a downtrend. It has a new buy signal, but it's not in an uptrend already. So I may not even consider that, okay, because I want something that's already in the momentum zone and this has got a bearish downtrend. Versus this one, I can glance at that and I know that it's probably got the right setup, okay, and that's now going to give me the criteria that I can just quickly glance through. So it gives you a little bit different visual look of the screen output. This one right here, this is a nice looking setup. Okay, it's going to grab that low and high. It's sitting right at the 236. It's got a new buy confirmation as well, and that is something that I may want to look for. Now, the reason why it's flashing right here is because I've got a countdown timer on this refresh. Yeah, you can turn that off if you want on the settings and say in every minute, I don't want that. It's just whenever I manually refresh it, I can do that too and just refresh it on my own. And for the most part, that's probably going to be fine during the day as well. Okay, but I can glance and say, and as you get better and better at looking for the patterns, you're going to know that you want the uptrend. You want that confirmation bar. You know you're going to get a stock that is moving in that uptrend. Maybe has a little confirmation bar right there. Okay, so that's another one of the ways to be able to just quickly go through and glance and see, you know, McDonald's right here has had a couple of different, it's really working hard to get up into that momentum zone. Okay, and I don't love the chart once it looks like this, but sometimes you can, you know, it's squoze in here, squoze, if that's a word. It's just tight in here because of, I had to make it smaller for the recording versus a little bit larger screen. Okay, so that's one of the ways also just to be able to glance and look at some of those chart patterns that you may be familiar with. So a couple of ideas for you on the screener. Push it and pull it and squeeze it, and you know, make it so that it's comfortable with the way that you like to look at content. For the most part, I like to look for, you know, these criteria we've got set up. We've got them sorted by RSI. Okay, the RSI 14 is the criteria for the filter. That's going to give you the strongest price performers of that screen, and you're going to, you know, you can change that to whatever you want. You've also got the technical rating, which is here. That's going to change the setting just a little bit. So looking for just a little bit different criteria. For the most part, you've got the criteria now, which is going to be your price activity and your volume activity. But if you want to be able to sort it by something different inside of those criteria, then you can use the other settings that are on here as well. One of the other things that you've got on this list is I've got this custom list. I can do the drop down. I can go by performance. Okay, so maybe I'm looking for, and we've already got the performance on this one. This is new buys all. So new buys all, we don't have the performance in there, but we've got this set. So if I went to performance, let me just see if I can move this over just a little bit right here. Performance 3 months. Okay, and then I can see this is another criteria that I can use. Some of those that have had buyouts, I've talked about those in previous updates as well. But Freddie Mac, okay, it's having a new buy. It's in that buy zone already. Here's the other one we just looked at, okay, TGI, Tree. So as I'm going through that list, just a quick way to look for that confirmation bar. Did it move into momentum? Am I in my buy zone? And then the other update that I talked about with the watch list. So a couple ideas there for you on the screener. And that's really all I wanted to go through for this training. Everyone have a fantastic day today.